everybody. Leon Thomas here with Miranda Kitterlin Lynch, and you're here for another episode of Checking In a Lodging DEI Chat. Hey, Miranda. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Everything is right on, rocking on, groovy.
Excellent. And you had a
Yeah,
good Father's Day?
I did have a good Father's Day. It
Good.
was the Father's Day that I asked for.
Which entails,
Simple,
okay.
basic. So first, I told my sons, I asked my sons to just come over and spend time with me.
Oh,
Just come over and I kind of thought an NBA game would be on, but they're not playing. They didn't play on Father's Day, so we couldn't watch a basketball game together. So we watched a documentary about University of Michigan's basketball team, which led us then next to my favorite movie, and I'm sure you know my favorite movie.
uh, Hoosiers? Is that the name of it?
Oh, that's like it's up there. It's up
Okay.
there. My favorite movie is My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, so we watched that, and then for dinner we had Dad Basic pizza and wings.
Nice.
Yes, so that was my Father's Day, and enjoyed spending time with my sons, and that was it. So everything was good. Yeah,
Fantastic.
and I hope your husband had a good Father's Day.
He did. He took my daughters to go see a movie in the theater. I don't go to movie theaters, but that's something they enjoy together, and they had a blast. Got him a tacky tie per our annual tradition.
Mhm. Right on. A tacky tie. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Folks, listen, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, we'd love to have you on our guest, but it's starting to line up. We have a lot of people want to be on the show. So if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email me. Again, my name is Leon Thomas. You can email me at leon at the Leon Thomas Group, or you could contact Miranda. Miranda, how to get in touch with you?
Very easy. Just Google me. I'm the only one you're going to find.
The only one. So there you go. That's how you do it. And you can watch the show. You're probably watching on your LinkedIn or YouTube right now. You continue to watch the show there. You can also search on your favorite podcast platform and you can listen to it by just searching for Checking In a Lodging DEI Chat. Or you could listen on the Leon Thomas Group radio network by going to the Leon Thomas Group's website, the leonthomasgroup.com, and there's a button on there in the menu that says listen. So you can listen to this show and all of the shows that are produced by the Leon Thomas Group. So, Miranda, what episode are we on? What is this episode number?
I think it's season 2, episode 24.
Season 2, episode 24.
Yes, and we are in for a good one today.
Yes, we are. Season 2, episode 24. I'll go with that. We are in for a good one today. Go ahead and introduce our guest, please.
Yes, so we are going to be joined today by Miss Ashli Johnson, and I just want to read what her LinkedIn says because I love it. It says, hospitality sharpshooter and equity and inclusion champion. I love it.
Right on. Let's bring Ashley right on the screen. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you all?
Good, good. Happy that we could nail you down. You're a busy lady.
Indeed, indeed. Great to be here.
So, do you want to start? I would be just incredibly shocked if there's anybody listening that doesn't know who you are and the kinds of awesome things that you do. I feel like every time I open my LinkedIn, you're doing something new. But when I reached out to you, you mentioned that you were doing something big or had something big in the works or something going on. Do you want to share anything about that with us?
Sure, sure. So I'm super excited that this year I'll be hosting the Hospitality Hued 2024 conference. And so it's really more of a summit than a conference. I have been affectionately referring to it as the unconference, but really a fantastic opportunity to gather Black and brown folks in the hospitality industry for the purpose of acknowledging and celebrating and elevating underrepresented minorities in the hospitality industry. So very excited that Hued 2024 will be happening August 7th and 8th this year in New Orleans, Louisiana.
That's right down the street for me. Awesome. That's amazing. What a great event.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're very excited about it. Very excited.
Fantastic. And how did this come about? Is this the first annual unconference?
So Hospitality Hued initially started in late 2019. I certainly saw a need in the industry just in my coming and going and traveling. I noticed that so many Black professionals were essentially disconnected from one another. And I certainly also recognize that if we're disconnected from one another, that also means that we're disconnected from opportunities and from resources. And I thought, oh, this will be a really great opportunity just to connect folks and get everyone together in the same room. And so I started hosting a Hospitality Hued signature event called Honor Hour, essentially just our play on a happy hour. And the plan was to host honor hours in various cities and just to connect folks in their local markets. And so November of 2019, we hosted our very first event, an honor hour in Manhattan, and had a phenomenal turnout. Folks were super excited about it. A few months later, we hosted Honor Hour Houston in Houston, Texas in February of 2020 with the plan of hosting our first in-person conference or unconference or summit later in the year. And as we know, 2020 had some other ideas about what was going to happen that year. And so it has not totally been on the shelf since then. We have hosted honor hours in Miami, in Atlanta, in Los Angeles over the years. And so this year will be our inaugural summit. So very exciting.
That's fantastic. Leon, before I turn it over to you, tell me what you mean by unconference. Like what makes this different?
So if anybody knows me, they know that I probably attend no less than probably 20 conferences a year. I am conference to the max. And so we all know that the format and the flow of these conferences typically go the same. Oftentimes we see many of the same faces. Oftentimes those rooms are not filled with folks that look like me. And so instead of just sitting in a ballroom in the same space for hours and hours and hours on end, with coffee breaks in between, we're really excited about a bit of a different format, utilizing two really amazing venues in New Orleans, and really switching up the format from fireside chats to panels to individual presenters, welcome receptions and mixers and that sort of thing. So we really want attendees to have the opportunity to connect with one another, but also to learn and not, be freezing in a ballroom and go to sleep very easily. So we're excited about sort of flipping the traditional conference format on its head.
I love it. That's so exciting. Leon?
Yeah.
And Ashley, for a lot of those other conferences, I hear about folks that work in asset management, folks that work in investment, finance, ownership. Who is this conference intended for? Who would it be really good, a really good attendee? Who's this for?
Yeah, so attendees of this conference, it is Black and brown hospitality leaders, right? At its core. And while we do have some property level leaders, certainly general managers, directors, sort of at that level. We certainly have a good number of corporate attendees, folks that work in a corporate capacity, other folks that have taken the entrepreneurial route. I hear at least 5 to 6 times a week from a Black or brown hospitality professional that is essentially asking, Ashley, how do I move? How do I advance my career? How do I navigate internal to my own organization? How do I find opportunities external to my organization? And that really comes from a network that is working for you. And so we want to make sure that that attendees of Hued 2024 get access really to all of that and better understanding how they can elevate themselves and their careers in the industry.
Yeah, I think it's great that this is happening. You know, when I grew up in the industry, there was no one for me to reach out to say,
Mhm.
how do I do? Help me advance, help me grow. I
Yeah.
mean, when I say no one, I mean no one black.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
there was
mhm.
no one that I could contact, that I could reach out to. I'm so glad that this is can I come? Would I be
Please,
can
please.
I come there? Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been saying it's Hospitality Hued is for folks that are Black, brown, and anybody down. So we are also calling allies and accomplices and co-collaborators and collaborators. Everyone is welcome. But certainly we are all on the same page about
Yeah.
the intention of elevating Black and brown leaders in the space.
Yeah, that
Um,
is so great. Right
That was
on.
going to be my next question is I'm not black or brown, but I'm absolutely down. So can I
Yes,
come through?
yes, absolutely, absolutely. All are welcome.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask you, you've done so many cool things in your career. I'm a big fan of all the things that you've been involved in. Is
Yeah.
there, did you have a mentor throughout all of these things that you've done? Or was there a mentorship opportunity? Was there anybody there to help guide you?
So that is a frequently asked question, Miranda. In full transparency, I can't say that there was one person that I knew that I could just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, sort of hold my hand, lead and guide me through this." What I did understand from a fairly early stage in my career is that I needed to seek these people out, and so essentially, I made everyone my mentor in many instances without them even knowing. I took it upon myself to study the careers of folks, ask very intentional questions. I wanted to make it as non laborious as possible for people to help me. And so I did not necessarily require a commitment from individuals, but I was very intentional about seeking out folks that had been where I was and or they were headed in the direction or they've already been where I wanted to be. And so I just sort of leverage folks from there.
That's phenomenal. And do you see opportunity now more for other people to get such mentorship? Or I know having the unconference is an excellent way for you to give back and put people in touch. Is there any other potential or opportunity you think that people can be doing to help out?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. I honestly believe that for most industry professionals, right, if they're already in a leadership role, um, unpopular opinion, I actually don't think that they need a mentor, right? If you are into your career, you certainly need more of a sponsor or a champion. And so, if you're, 5, 10, 15 years, 20 plus careers in years into your career, you don't necessarily need someone that you can sort of call on and ask for advice. You need someone that you can call on that can move a mountain for you, right? And so you only find those folks by building relationships with them. And those individuals are helpful to have internal to your organization and also external to your organization. So I'm more of a fan of sponsors and champions for existing industry leaders, less of a mentor. I would challenge them to mentor someone that is, younger or earlier in their career. Certainly give back, but most leaders need someone that can change the game for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points.
Yeah.
Me?
Folks, you're watching Checking In, a Lodging DEI Chat. I'm Leon Thomas with Miranda Kitterlin Lynch. Our guest today is Ashli Johnson, and we're talking to Ashli about DEI in the hotel industry and particularly the upcoming conference. And Ashley, what are the dates on that conference again in New Orleans? What are the dates, please?
Yeah, August 7th and 8th in the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, a culture capital for Black folks for sure around the world. And the two venues that we'll be in is a really awesome space called the Sazerac House. New Orleans is world famous for a cocktail, a spirit called Sazerac, and that'll be a half day on the 7th. And then our full unconference day will be at the beautiful Four Seasons, New Orleans on August 8th.
All right, and you can get more information by going to the website you see on the screen there, hospitalityhued.com. So you want to go there and check it out. So, Ashley, let me ask you this: as you were growing up in the business, um, tell me about your path to leadership. Tell me your starting point and how you got into hospitality management and leadership. Tell us your story.
Yeah, so it's a unique one, Leon. My sort of uh, introduction to hospitality actually came from my father's 27-year Marine Corps career. My father retired as a Marine Corps officer, but his MOS sort of later on in his career was food service. And that is sort of what opened my eyes to, oh, this seems so fun. You can eat food all day and taste things and create really amazing experiences for folks. And so I actually have an older brother. He also went into the hospitality industry. And shortly thereafter, I sort of followed in the same path. So I studied hospitality resort and spa management at the University of West Florida in Pensacola, big tourist town, and was able to get a lot of really great experience there. Studied um, hospitality and tourism management for my master's from Florida International University. Go Panthers! and and my master's sort of had a leaning or a concentration in hotel investments. And so while I was super excited to be studying hospitality, I am grateful that fairly early on, I learned that there was something beyond operations for me to do. It wasn't necessarily something that I was taught in undergrad, but because I paid close attention to the industry, as I mentioned earlier, I identified who the leaders were. I did my homework on them. I tracked their wins and losses over the years, and very quickly realized that there was another pathway in hospitality. I often define hospitality as the business of service, and so after learning and sort of really getting my feet wet on the delivery of service, I then jumped into the business of service. And so, yes, I've worked in operations, I've worked in hotels and restaurants pretty early on in my career. And then I jumped into consulting, more specifically supporting Black and Brown hotel owners and potential owners get into the space and investors. And then somewhere along the way, I got into higher education. And so I started teaching hospitality at an HBCU at Virginia State University. They gave me my academic start. And from there, had a really great honor of teaching graduate students at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. I've been an administrator and faculty member at the Rosen College at the University of Central Florida, and also served as assistant dean of the University of Houston Hilton College of Hotel and Restaurant Management. And so I've done a little bit of everything. And most recently was the inaugural executive director of the Marriott Swanson Center for Hospitality Leadership at Howard University in Washington, D.C. So worked in industry, worked in higher ed, have done consulting, sort of done a little bit of everything. And so um, learned a ton along the way. But even in all this time that I've been in the industry, I really have not seen significant progress made by way of diversifying executive level leadership and owners in this business. And so that's what I am solely focused on doing now.
Yeah, right on. That's a thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
You've done so much and you'll be able to help so many others because of your background. Um, I don't know if you're aware that I'm not supposed to be involved in hospitality either. Right now, I'm really supposed to be the basketball coach at UCLA.
Oh, I love
Yeah, but
that.
because I didn't win enough games as a high school coach, right, here I am. But the short version is that the owner of the hotel that I first worked at, a Hampton Inn in Pittsburgh, at the Pittsburgh airport, he was a basketball fan, and he used to come into the hotel and ask how the team was doing, and I'd say, "Oh, we won 3 games." this year. Oh, we won 4 games this year. He said, son, that ain't gonna work out for you. You need to come to work in the hotel business. So I did it for 35 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
on. So that's the scoop. Over to Miranda.
So, Ashley, you mentioned that you have yet to see major progress being made in this space. To what would you attribute that to, other than what I would consider to be the obvious problems in our United States of America? Is there anything that you think we could do at the individual level to start to move this needle?
Yeah. So, that's certainly a mountain that's yet to be scaled, Miranda. I believe that, we've been talking about DEI in this business for a very, very long time. I tend to be of the belief that maybe we enjoy talking about it more than we want to be about it. And so, yes, it does require an individual sort of approach. But I would also say that, it's just going to take people in leadership roles to change the pathway, to make a different decision. I think sort of centering diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives as a business imperative is what will sort of accelerate the mission here for sure.
Yeah, definitely. One of our previous guests, Juan Tamayo, had something really cool. I forget exactly what his words were, but DEI can't be seen as an option. It has to be seen as a necessity. Something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Could not agree more.
Yeah, he said it can't be an extracurricular.
Yes.
That's right.
It has to be a requirement.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to ask you, what do you see as being like the next thing? Because I'm reflecting on 2020 and we saw a lot of companies make a lot of big statements, right, about how they're going to change and involve more DEI, et cetera. I personally don't feel that a lot of that was followed through from my observations. I'm assuming that you probably did not see a lot of follow through as well.
I would concur, yes.
So
not a lot of movement.
So do you think that there's going to be a next big push? And if so, like, how do we make it happen without someone having a tragedy?
Yeah. I think there has to be a next big push. And I think the onus of that next big push is going to be on us, right? The folks that it is directly tied to or correlated to, but it's also the responsibility of the folks that identify as allies, as collaborators on this effort. It's going to take all of us to continually have the conversations, but more importantly, to push people to action. So I try my best not to, while I can appreciate being motivated and inspired by, all these DEI chats, my favorite question is, how soon can we get started on this? When can I stop by your corporate office to see the progress that you're making on this particular thing? I think when we start tracking DEI and connecting it to the same deliverables that we track every other business metric with, we'll certainly start seeing and affecting some change.
Yeah, that's a really, really great point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Leon?
Ashley, we're at a point in our show where Miranda and I roll out our signature questions of the show. And so we'd like to get your signature, your virtual signature. So grab a pen or a pencil or even just your finger. That'll be fine. Yes. And so what I want you to do, please, is when I count to 3, go ahead and just kind of give us your signature. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's now time for the 2. Actually, it'll be 3 today. Signature questions of the show. All right, Ashley, I get the first 2 questions. First 2 questions, and we'll have some conversation about one of them, I know for sure. Have you ever had a Maryland crab cake?
Of course.
Of course.
I've lived in the DMV for more than 10 years, so absolutely, I've enjoyed Baltimore
Mhm.
City crab cakes. I've enjoyed
Mm.
Annapolis crab cakes.
Annapolis crab cake. Okay.
Yes,
All
yes.
right. You say DMV, that means DC, Virginia. I'm not going to say there's a good crab cake in DC or
I would
Virginia,
listen,
but in
and
Maryland,
I'm
yeah.
in full agreement with that. And I will say I have never been a resident of Maryland. I have indeed been a resident of the District of Columbia and Virginia, but I know where to go to get a crab cake.
All right.
So yeah,
Nice.
I know it's Maryland. It is not anywhere in Virginia or DC.
Now, you know what's interesting about crab cakes is last week someone asked me what the plan was for Father's Day, and they told me about a black-owned seafood restaurant
Mm,
in Maryland.
nice.
And I didn't go there, but I checked out the reviews, and because all the reviews were horrible, I'm not going to mention the name of the
Oh
restaurant.
no.
Oh
But it was bad. I mean, I didn't see one good review at all, and none of them talked badly about the service. It was about the food.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, so I told my friend who recommended it to him, like, dude, are you sure? So we're actually going to go there on Thursday, and maybe on our next show, I'll have a report about it. But I definitely didn't want to go there for Father's Day. So
Oh
please
I'll
yeah.
look
let you
forward
know.
to
So
that
if it ends
review.
up being
Please do.
okay, we'll talk about it, maybe bring them on the show and show them how to combat those reviews. So
Yeah.
the next question, how about bean pie? Have you ever had bean pie?
Of course, Leon.
Bean pie?
Listen, the nation has provided me with many a bean pie over the years. So,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
absolutely.
The nation at the traffic lights.
Yes.
Yes, the
And get the
nation.
paper while you're at it.
Get the
Absolutely.
paper. Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Never
Yes,
in my life have I seen a bean pie. I
yes,
told Leon I've had a meat pie,
yes,
a crawfish pie, a tomato pie. Never seen a bean pie.
You
yes.
know, Miranda, I think probably a great place for you to go the next time you're in Philadelphia. Just go up to North Philly and, stop at a red light. They got you covered.
Got
They
So
it.
got you covered.
I ran a hotel in Philly. I ran a Hawthorne Suites in Center City, connected to the Pennsylvania Convention Center.
Nice.
Right. And I went to North Philly and I stopped at a traffic light and I bought some pies from the brothers
That's right.
and a paper.
That's
And I
right.
came back with the paper and the owner of the hotel was there, right? And we got in a heated argument because he thought I was a member of the Nation of Islam.
Huh.
This is real. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not, but so what if I
Right. What if
am?
you were?
Well, what does that have to do with anything? Your hotel is full at a high rate. What's your point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, it's an
Huh.
interesting story there. Who knew bean pie would take us there? But yes, yes, it did. It did. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Miranda.
I've got the easiest question for you of the day. And that is, what would you go back in time and tell your 20-year-old self? One piece of advice, affirmation, pearl of wisdom, anything.
Ooh. Um, I often reference my late uncle's words of wisdom, um, to do it now. Whatever it is, there typically is not reasonable enough justification to delay what it is that you have interest in or desire to accomplish. Whatever it is, start it now, do it now. That's the advice that I would give to my younger self.
That's great advice. Great advice for many aspects of life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you
I
for
like
being with us today.
it.
absolutely. Thank you all so much for having me. This is fun.
Ashley, tell us again about the upcoming conference. Tell us the dates and all the particulars on that, please. We want everyone to know about it.
Yes. So the Hued 2024 Unconference will be in New Orleans, Louisiana on August 7th and 8th of this year. We have an incredible lineup of speakers, absolute best of the best in industry. We have keynote speakers like John Fareed, who's the global chairman of Horwath HTL, the largest hospitality consulting firm in the world. We've got community champions and leaders like Thomas Penny, president of Donahoe Hospitality Services. So a slew of folks, Kendra Plummer, founder of Elise Capital, and so many others from the industry side of things, but in also recognizing that we probably need some help in ordering finances and figuring out how we can better position ourselves to get onto the ownership side of things. We have a number of entrepreneurs that will also be speaking, and very excited to have Julian and Kirsten Saunders of the Rich and Regular platform coming to talk to us about making your money work for you. And so we are super excited to welcome everyone to New Orleans in just a couple of months. So if you're interested in attending, please do visit hospitalityhued.com. You can register for the summit there. And if you're unable to make it, please do recommend it to a friend, a colleague. If you want to support the conference, unable to make it, a handful of folks have already reached out to say, hey, I want to cover the cost to be able to reduce the burden of a Black or brown leader to attend the summit. And so a number of folks have also been sort of donating registration fees as well, which is really amazing.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
That is great. Great to hear. Thank you for leading and making that happen, and looking forward to having you back on Checking In, a Lodging DEI Chat, to tell us all the successes of that gathering. So Ashli Johnson, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you all so much. Hope to see you soon.
Yes, absolutely.
And thanks everyone for watching another episode of Checking In, a Lodging DEI Chat. I'm Leon. She's Miranda, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.